Talk Loki, Episode 1, Glorious Purpose. So, I took a lot of notes because I wanted to make sure I remembered some of the key points that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so number 1. I love how the episode started. One of my favorite movies. Like that time jump scene or when they travel back in time. I watch that movie over and over again all the time. All of them. So when we actually open up to the beginning of the actual Loki is shot like basically out of the air into the Gobi Desert or whatever. It looks kind of like the Rosen Bridge or the Rainbow Bridge from the Thor movies. Kind of when he's coming down, it's like a light strike that brings him down, but it's not like a storm like Thor, like the first movie. So he hits down, and of course Loki tries to take over wherever he goes. So the first thing he tries to do is give a speech to a group of people that he has no idea who they are. I'm pretty sure that they don't even speak English because he's talking about glorious purpose, and they're like, "Who are you?" And just when that happens, a group of people just come through, like they all dressed up in SWAT uniforms and stuff. And let me tell you this. The whole stick carrying the stick things, I don't know what it is, but it makes me think of Bugs Bunny. I don't know why, but I think of Bugs Bunny. That's just what I think of. Okay. Anyway, so they come through, and of course Loki automatically turns like, what? Because there's this weird shape door thing that just appears out of nowhere, and once it appears out of nowhere, then people come through. So of course he's like, never mind. So he runs off to go see what's going on, and they go to the Tesseract. So he's like, don't touch that. Of course they don't listen, because who are you? You don't know who they are. They don't know who you are. No one cares. So they pick up the Tesseract. Loki, he's still talking shit. Talking the most shit. When I say this lady knocked him into slow-mo, okay? She knocked his ass into slow-mo. I mean, it was I can't do it, but it was hilarious, okay? And then she put this thing around his neck, I guess a jail thingy. I don't know. Some type of dog collar, shock collar. It looked like a dog shock collar or whatever. So they take him into this place. I don't know. It's weird because when they first walk in, it's this big old, desk. I don't know. It's it looks like a hotel. You walk in and it literally looks like a hotel lobby when you first walk in to a Disney resort or something like that. So you walk in, he goes into this room, and this man makes him sign some papers of everything that he ever said. And when I tell you that stack of paper should have been bigger, I mean, we're talking about Loki here. That stack of paper should have been way bigger. But he keeps talking, of course, because he's Loki, and that's what he's going to do. So he's talking, and every time he talks, another paper prints out, and he has to sign it. Once he signs it, he's mute now. No more words. So once he signs it, he drops through the floor out of nowhere. Boom. I see a little person who has a pad, and it's sitting there. My first thought was Thor and trying to get Mjolnir back. So Loki does not know that if he is a robot or not. So there's this metal detector thing that they have to walk through before going in, and it's to detect if he's a robot. And he stops before walking in because he literally doesn't even know if he's a robot. At this point, I think Loki doesn't even know if he actually exists. Seriously, I think I would be questioning my everything if I had to deal with what was going on. So, this is another thing. It's so when Loki gets in, he tries to run, and they have this little thing that they press a button and he's like, just like they like rewind him or something like that. And it's like, do they have like some type of harness power from the time stone in order to do that? Because how else would they be able to like control his movement or what he's doing, like to rewind him, put him back in place, basically to put him back in place? It's weird. I don't know, it's weird. It has to be some sort of like, got to be a strong power in order to do that. Like, I don't know. But Loki goes into like this area where it's like, I don't know, it looks like a movie theater to me, to be truthfully honest. It looks like a movie theater with the lines and everything, but there's like this guard that's standing there, and he tells Loki to take a ticket. Now, somebody came in right before Loki that didn't take a ticket, and he walks in and he's like having an attitude. I don't know what his deal is or whatever, but he's attitudey. And he decides that he's not going to take a ticket. He walks up to the guy. The guy asks, "Where's his ticket?" He's like, "I tried to get a ticket." Lying, talking out of, and then he's like, I don't know, he was saying a whole bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure I seen him when we first came in. I'm pretty sure he's like a rich kid or something like that. I don't know. So he doesn't take a ticket, and he gets pruned basically on sight. That's what they're calling it, I guess. That's what it ended up being called. He gets erased on sight. It's like they stuck him and erased him, and he melted down to particles, like, and fluttered off into the air. I don't know. This shit was crazy. So Loki had already taken his ticket because Loki, I mean, he's mischievous and he's Loki, but he's still like, whatever. I'm going to play this game. So he took the ticket and walked over it. When he saw the guy get erased, he made sure he had that ticket. But prior to this, he's standing in line and some creepy shit is happening on this screen in front of him. This like weird lady been talking about timekeepers. Now, the timekeepers, according to this lady, the timekeepers are three celestial beings that have taken all of the least detrimental parts of the timeline of the multiverse and created one timeline, which they call the sacred timeline, which means that they chose Thanos as the threat. He was the least dangerous threat that came our way. So I'm really interested to see like how things, I swear, I can't wait to see how things go. But after she tells a story about the timekeepers and everything, she says like this like mantra, it seems like. It's like for all time, always, or whatever. And to me that's just weird. Like, I don't know, whatever. Loki thinks that he basically, we know that Loki thinks he's he's smarter than everybody. So of course he's playing the game, as I said before, trying to manipulate everybody, pretty much. He's talking stuff and everything. So Loki goes to trial. When Loki goes to trial, he pleads not guilty, but tries to use his magic and it doesn't work. So this makes me think that this the TVA is what it's called. It makes me think that the TVA is out of time. Like, it's a place that's placed out of time. And it has to be controlled by, like, these celestial beings have to be super powerful in order to see everyone's future all the time. Some guy shows up in court while Loki is in court. And he's out there trying to basically take up for Loki. Like, basically, like, he needs him for something, is what it seems like. So he goes up to the lady. Mind you, I think that they know each other a little bit, if you know what I mean. He like looking up to her. So he gets Loki. He takes him with him. Now he's on a case. There's a variant that's out. I guess that's what they're called now. The people who break the timeline are called variants. And he's looking for a variant that he thinks Loki can help him find. apparently this variant has been like fucking with the TVA for quite a minute, and they're trying to find him, and they need Loki to help them. So they get into this room, they start questioning Loki. They question him about some stuff, and there's this little machine on there, looks like a little projector machine or whatever. And they start showing some shit from his past. I automatically think like they're gonna show him his death. They about to show him that he dies, and he's about to go AWOL, and that's how shit's gonna get fucked up. Oh my goodness. And they show him his mom's death. Now that I did not even see coming, okay? Showing Fricka's death was it was heartbreaking. Just to watch it again, I don't know, it was heartbreaking. So when he saw that, of course he started to freak out. He wanted to fight, he wanted to do all types of other stuff, but there was nothing he could do. Mobius had to step out of the room for a minute, and during the time, he got into a little bit of a scuffle. Not a scuffle with Mobius, but he tried to attack him. And like I said, the time collars will put you back in your place. So, put him back in his place, and he was sitting on the floor, and he helped him up. And during that time, I swear I saw the switcheroo. I saw it coming. And when he helped him up, Loki had to have pickpocketed my mans. Because when Mobius stepped out of the room, Loki disappeared. Gone. Boom. He had that little, whatever the fuck, little remote. It looked like my little remote for my whatchamacallit. So he's going all around. He's looking all around. He goes to the receptionist that I told you I was at the desk in the front. Threatens him, tells him, asks him, like, where is the Tesseract? Where's the Tesseract? So he gives it to him. You know, whatever. I don't want no problems. Take this thing. Gave it to him. When Loki looked in the drawer, when I say there was like 100 Infinity Stones, just dead. Dead Infinity Stones just sitting in the drawer. So my first thought is the Tesseract is useless then. If that's the point, I mean, what is he really going to do with it? But I'm not sure, though, because the Tesseract was still glowing. So I'm like, okay, maybe he got a chance to get the hell out. But apparently he didn't, because he went right back to the room. I'm pretty sure once he touched that Tesseract, he would have been gone. He went right back to the room where the guy was interrogating him. And he sits down and he basically just breaks. Loki breaks. And this was a sad part of the show for me. Because he really had to look into himself. And I don't think he's ever really had to do that before and realize who he really is internally. And it was sad. It was sad. It was a revelation. But it was, it was something that he needed to do for himself. According to the TVA, everyone that works there, or according to the person that was interrogating him, everyone that works there was created by the timekeepers. Like, they never were, like maybe they're not humans. I don't know. But they were supposedly created by the timekeepers. These timekeepers have to be extremely strong, or whoever has to be extremely strong to dictate all of this. It has to be a lot. You know what I was also thinking? Did Loki steal a stone because he thought he was getting out of there? Because think about it. If I thought that I was going to be able to escape, I would have stole at least one of each of the stones. Right then and there. It's not like he's going to take it. You're taking a stone in your hand right now. It's not like this guy is going to stop you. So, I don't know. I think maybe I would. Maybe he did. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. But I know I would have. That would have been seriously. If I thought I was getting out and I was going back to the real world where these things could work, I would absolutely take some stones. Loki, when he goes back to the interrogation room, he tussles with the little machine himself to go through some things. He sees some heartwarming moments. He sees his mom's death. He sees his dad's death. And then he sees his own death. He sees his own death alone. and he watches his death by Thanos. Mind you, he basically just got arrested for coming down to Earth or Midgard, coming down to Midgard to carry out one of Thanos's plans or whatever. We find out that the fugitive variant is another Loki. Now, I've heard of like alternate Lokis like around before or whatever, and I've been digging into this like multiverse of madness thing a lot since it's been announced or whatever. But I'm curious as to who this variant Loki is working for, because I mean Loki's always like, unless he's just doing some mischievous stuff, he's working for somebody. That's just what it seems like. And it seems like he's working for someone that's more powerful because he thinks that he's going to be able to outsmart them to take their power. That's what I think. I don't know. 1858, Salona, Oklahoma. It's a TVA squad in the field. Now, mind you, they already said that they have been losing units along with charges. Whatever the little charges are called or whatever. They said that they were losing units, which means units of people. So they had a unit out in some field that caused a little issue or whatever, some sort of time spike, I guess. And they see some stuff, they're like, oh, it's just oil, probably somebody that thought they could come back and get rich. Reset the timeline and let's go. So they set the little thingy down or whatever, and then they notice somebody out in the distance in a hood. So they go to head towards this person. This person has a lantern. They drop the lantern and a fire starts. Start to thinking that it's the Loki variant. And I'm like, okay, well, it's the Loki variant then. And why is she still in these charges? Because she steals that charge too. The guy tries to get to it. He tries to make it and it's over. It's done. And she steals it and she's out. For me, this episode was... it was up and down. It was up and down a lot because it's been so long since I actually saw Loki. So like I said, I love the opening. The way they opened it up, like basically left off exactly where I saw Loki last. It felt like it was picking up right where it left off, pretty much. It was like I forgot about all the other in between. It's weird, but I did. And I don't know. I'm just very curious to see where this timeline is gonna go. And also, I was very curious as to how Loki knew that the Avengers were the ones that came back in time. But then he said something, my fiance pointed out to me, that he said he smelled 2 Tony Stark colognes. Now I know that's a shot to Playboy Tony Stark and his, his lifestyle and his primping and grooming and all of that stuff. But it also made me think of Loki's senses and his sharpness. Loki is very sharp and very inquisitive, and I'm here for it. All right, so I'm going to watch episode 2 and review that, and that'll be my next video. See you guys.